This is a Looney Studios podcast. Hello and welcome to Aerde Talks. I'm Hunter Looney, the Game Master, and this show is here to dive deeper into the world of Aerde, which is traversed in the Aerde Tales. I'm joined today by Leah, who plays Gamore, and Noah, who plays Salvazar. And today we're going to be discussing the last episode of Season 1 of Aerde Tales. And just getting in and talking about the whole season, the latest episode, whatever y'all want to talk about. Who wants to go first? Y'all have some questions.
Wow. Just wow.
So,
We're not going to talk about the last episode first?
you can do whatever you want.
Do we want to start with our questions, or
You can talk about the last episode.
you want to go first?
Sure.
Since
My questions are about the whole season, though, and not just the...
Alright, well, how did you feel about the last episode? About the wrap-up, the aftermath?
I mean, definitely didn't expect the beginning to be like it was with the Pantheras. I don't know why. I just thought you were going to, skip to them, being exiled or whatever. But I liked actually seeing it and her being, Mushak being hardcore, cutting the hand off and then killing that other dude.
Especially after you got so mad about her being scared in that mansion.
Yeah.
From zombie vampires.
Yeah.
That's scary. Zombie vampires are scary.
I mean, different people are scared of different things.
Yeah,
So
and that was
I'm scared of puppets.
that doesn't mean she's not tough.
Yeah. So, yeah. I thought you all might like that. That's why I did it that way. You got anything you wanted to talk about
I
this
want
last
to talk about how ridiculous Salvazar's goodbye to me was.
Okay.
What was it? Be good, knucklehead?
Mm-hmm.
Were those the exact words?
What went through your mind to pick those words?
I don't know. It was just something that I came up with on the spot, but also I wanted it to have meaning into the type of person Salvazar is still.
Yeah, he hasn't fully grown. He is still an 18-year-old kid, young adult guy trying to figure out that just overthrew, now a whole province.
It makes sense for him to be a little bit off, I guess.
He's still probably upset he doesn't have
Also, I kind of want to act older than you, so for just a little bit, even though you're an elf.
Just for once, you wanted to treat me like I'm younger?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess that's fair. It is pretty fitting with Salvazar's character.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Alright, who wants to start with the first question?
You want to go back and forth, or you just want to do all yours?
Yeah, let's go back and forth. Who wants to start?
Go ahead.
What is the religion of Desmodon?
Desmodon? So there's a couple of different ones that are in the whole island or country, whatever you want to call it, of Day, and also within Desmodon. So there's a couple ones. I don't have the names off the top of my head for you or anything like that, but there's ones that follow a whole pantheon of gods and stuff like that. There's people that worship the rings around the planet. There's people that worship the moon. There's a bunch of different ones out there, and I know we didn't dive into them any at all in season 1, but they might come up as you all go on a boat to other countries and stuff like that, because these religions, some of them are older, some of them are newer and stuff, so the boundaries of countries and stuff like that doesn't necessarily hold them. Some are more likely to be in other countries and stuff like that, but I won't give you any names yet. But you all came across one sect of
Well, he just asked about it. Desmodon.
Yeah. I don't want to give any away.
Okay.
But you did come across that one sect that was trying to, like, do something, and they were collecting, like, they were killing people and collecting their essence or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And
I have a
vials and
question
stuff.
about that also.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get to them then when we get there. All right.
Actually, that's my first question.
Okay.
And it's like a 2-part question, so I guess I'll do them at the same
So
time.
before we started recording, and in like the summary episode 1, we talked about what you all had done before we started recording. You all had went to this. You all got shipwrecked on this island. You came across a temple. There was some hooded people in like robes and stuff like that. They had presumably killed people or taken newly dead people and were harvesting their essence, their magic, something, and was making some black liquid from it. Mm-hmm. I was just giving a quick...
And then multiple times since then, we found creatures that seemed to be kind of possessed, acting different.
Yeah.
And then we...
You collected some black blood or ichor or something from 2 animals.
Yeah, so that was my question.
Okay.
I just wrote, what black ichor?
I can only give you as much as you have found out in season 1.
I figured, but... Okay, the second part of that is, did you plan for that to not be solved this season?
Yeah. You can't resolve everything in one season.
I just guess
That's a new thread.
I thought from the beginning that we would find out
Things.
this season.
So
No,
let's scratch off some things.
There's unresolved threads that...
I mean, it makes sense, but...
No, the Doan was over the whole thing. He's the big bad of everything, y'all. Nothing bad's going to happen. Yeah, everything's fixed. No,
Is the scientist lady still looking at it? Or she pretty much said,
she said she's, like, hit a wall on it and will need new information to proceed further. Or new species or not specimens, not species, specimens or whatever to proceed further.
Okay.
So, you may or may not come across things or breadcrumbs or whatever in season 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do, but I'm not going to.
I mean, I do. Alright, now you can go.
What relationships are formed and broken, and what type?
In, like...
Yeah.
So, of all your crew that were, like... Most of them decided to stay in Using. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so most of them decided to stay in Using with you all, at least temporarily. Presumably from what Omi and Pak said, they're going to stick around enough for you to get everything fully operational. And then they're going to peace out and go about doing something else.
Is this like a peek into what happens after I left?
So, like, Pak had said, though, that, hey, he's going to help you get it up and running, get somebody to head it, and get it functioning properly. And then Omi was like, wants everything to be safe, doesn't want you all to die, or get a coup happen against you and get overthrown and stuff, because the transition period in a new government and everything like that is the easiest chance to get overthrown again. So she wants to make sure that does not happen. So presumably those two had said they're going to stay for a little bit. Whether that ends up being a couple months, a half a year or more, who knows?
Okay.
But they didn't want... They figured Gomorrah would be okay and safe, more so than you and Mushak would be. And your mercenaries are fine as long as the money keeps rolling in.
I think we know what Salvazar's getting at, or what Noah's getting at, though.
What do you mean? You were asking about Mushak and Salvazar?
Yeah.
So, so before this episode, I said, if you decide to stay, you hand over Salvazar as an NPC to me, a non-player character that I now control from here on out. unless there's a special episode where Salazar comes back to be playable as you and stuff.
Right. So that kind of scratches out, will Salazar make a cameo?
No. It's just like that's one of your questions. There could be future episodes and stuff like that where he can make a cameo, or you could be controllable. He could be controllable by you, or he could just be controllable by me for a little bit and stuff. But that was if you chose this path of him staying, you have to hand him to me. And then, so I would, if for Salazar and Mushak's storyline, I think Mushak, if those two were planning to build a romantic relationship, it would be after everything kind of settles, because she would want to get everything functioning properly and it be safe than to be distracted.
And also not make it look like she's playing favorites.
Yeah.
Like if you guys immediately started dating or whatever, then everybody be like, oh, she just picked you because...
And also, this city, its history on just relationships, period. It's not like the rest of the world. It was not the catlings and the kittens and stuff like that did not stay with their parents. They didn't know who their parents even were and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
They're immediately the city's kids and stuff. And so it's a brand new world, and that's pretty much the extent I thought of it, is there's going to have to be some solid foundation of that city functioning before she's even going to think about it. And I know Salazar's has seen people in relationships and stuff like that and stuff, and so has Mushak, and so they kind of know what's going on, but not necessarily. All right, so it's back to you.
All right. I think I'm going to ask this one first. What would have happened if we did not accept the Queen's invitation to go?
Oh, where they asked you to come for
dinner, yes.
We'll have you for dinner.
Yeah. That's just such a major plot line. Shay has done so much with us. She's literally kind of
it would have been way harder.
Our... Yeah.
You all wouldn't have had pretty much a benefactor that is paying for your room and board. You would have had to spend so much money on food and housing and everything.
But you would have let us do that and just be no.
Oh yeah, the story would have been completely different.
That kind of stuff just blows my mind.
Yeah,
So I'm how do you not go crazy when we don't do stuff that you want us to do?
It makes it more interesting for me. I have these branching paths, and if you don't hit... I don't plan, I have loose paths. So, if you pick this one, then all my little thinkings about that, I get to, bloom and flourish. And I have only little buds of ideas on. Mm-hmm. And if the other ones you don't go down that path, I might take some little snippets out of them and use them. It makes them interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, no, if you all hadn't met Shay and stuff like that, you probably would have never met Shay or Lynn.
Crazy.
You probably wouldn't have been a vampire.
Yeah, probably not.
By the end of season 1. And you probably would have still come across Mushak. And maybe still had done this. But it also would have made it less safe. Because remember, once the assassination attempt on Mushak happened, she was pretty much safe because she was at Shay's. You all wouldn't have had that. You wouldn't have had your own house to be at.
Yeah.
It would have been way more stressful on trying to keep Mushak alive. Mm-hmm. And then Salazar alive after that happened.
Mm-hmm. Lol.
Yep. Lols. All right.
Your turn.
Your question.
I was gonna ask stuff about the different countries.
Okay.
Like, what are they called, and what type of people live there?
So, you all have met the main swaths of the sentient species. There's some that you have not encountered, because the list of sentient species that I gave you were ones that have either made it to this continent that you all are on, or at least come through this continent rarely enough for people to know about them and stuff. So the other continents that you all will be going to, and islands and all this other stuff, you're going to see mostly the same type of species, but there might be some species that you meet that are rarer and stuff. I can't go through every single name of every single continent or country or anything like that right now, but as you all get to them and stuff and talk about where you're going in season 2 on the maps and stuff, we'll pinpoint the names and stuff like that. You may or may not encounter new species and stuff.
Okay.
Are we gonna see Layla again?
You could, if you wanted to.
Where are they?
So
They on that island that we
So-
went on. Like,
Layla is a talking black dog that you all encountered before we started recording on that same island that we just talked about. And they accompanied you back to the mainland that you all are on. You all went to the Port Province, which is butted up right against Esmodon. You went to their governors.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a governor and 2 governesses in a poly relationship that rule that province. You went to them. They knew Layla and put Layla in charge of their investigation into
Yep.
what you all saw happen on that island that Layla helped you with. And then...
Oh, yeah, by the way, Layla's a black dog. Did you just say that?
A black dog that speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and totally was on an island just trying to chew a bone.
Yeah.
And I said, you want to come with us?
And also, you all would have not had Layla come with you all, and it would have been harder. But you all asked, and they were like, do you have meat? And you were like, yes. And they were like, okay, I guess I'll go with you all. So,
Okay.
if you choose to go meet with them at some point, then
Cool.
you could try to track them down
Okay.
and stuff, but who knows where they're at and stuff like that.
Back to you, Noah.
You guys took most of my questions. Like, what were the people on the island like back before?
They were a sect of a religion or cult that was harvesting life force or magic, is what you all learned.
What type of people were they? What species?
Oh, they were mainly human males.
I couldn't remember.
They were mainly human males.
I thought they were goblins.
There were goblins that they had hired to work for them to like pull the dead bodies to them and
We captured them
run
and then we
security.
lost them. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Okay.
one of your all's first interactions in playing D&D-esque gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun. But yeah, they had some goblins
Yeah, we did
that
not
they had
know
hired
to
them.
pay attention and do perception checks and things like that at that point. I feel like we're better at perception checks now.
Yep.
An
Maybe not-
investigation.
Maybe
like
not
you kept
insight,
investigating
though.
and you found weapons. That was good.
Maybe not insight, since it took you a whole season to figure out if Pock even does magic.
Well, Fox just very trustable.
I
Oh,
mean,
what do
he
you
wasn't
mean?
doing anything wrong, so
That
we
you
just let him
know
do
of. He could...
There was one point where I thought there was like a spy within our group. Why was that? I started like questioning. Oh no, it was when we were at those games, and I thought it was the person that was
helping
like
you
our
all,
teacher.
Peepo.
Yeah, which we never found out.
And we never found out about the mayor.
Yep, there's a lot of things. I didn't find
Yeah. I have all these threads I could unravel, or they just do their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yep.
Where have the queens been? Have they been in the mansion?
No, the queens live in Dorca, the capital of Desmodon. The only reason they were visiting Shay, and that was why they were there when you all first met them.
I forgot they don't live together.
Yeah, they were just visiting her and were coming down to the southern border.
I mean, I guess it makes sense since she's 200 years old for her to have her own house.
We're over that.
She's like in the 230s.
Maybe she's
celebrated
lying.
it. She celebrated it at one of the episodes.
Oh, yeah. Her birthday.
I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. It's like 230 something.
Got any more questions? No?
No. You got any more?
I have one more.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Want to know, what is the craziest thing that you almost did? Or, like, who did you almost kill off?
No, I mean...
We kept it under.
As a DM, like, what's the worst thing that almost happened?
Oh, no, there was a legit, real chance that Mushak or Salazar could die.
Yeah, I know you said that. What else?
Well, like, in any of your encounters, if you all decide to do something stupid, you all could die.
Okay, but were you really going to kill Pakov if I hadn't have persisted to tell you that?
Oh, no, that
I'd be
was
so
just,
mad at you if you did.
That was just me giving you a hard time the whole time.
Okay.
The whole season.
The NPCs,
Ooh, I know. What about at the sporting event where we kept pushing? Like, what would have happened if we just
Alright, so
did not
let me answer your first question first.
Okay, I'm getting excited.
Any of your NPCs, I don't want them to just die off screen, like, for no reason.
Well, yeah.
Or it come down to necessarily one roll. It takes a persistence, a couple of things going wrong for them to die. Because I like to think of them as their own characters that I don't want them to have, like, a cheap death or whatever. I want them to be able to resolve their storylines and stuff too. So, like, unless, like, persistent, like, thing after thing after thing went wrong, hiding Pac away in a secret spot during all this was really good. Him and Ellie. When you brought Pac along and Barnaby along and stuff like that, you all was very smart about it in keeping them alive and doing things smart. When I threw Ellie in front of you all, instead of just letting her pass, and you all, like, brought her into the fold, you all also did some very smart things to keep her alive.
Yeah, we smart.
I came up with some stuff on the spot.
Yeah. So like...
kind of prank people.
You all did, like... It showed that you all knew if y'all did stupid stuff. Or just acted like, they'll be fine. No, you all are going into a series.
There was a point, though, where we, like, talked to Ellie, and then she started to walk away, and you were like, so, you're gonna let her go back to the town?
That was...
We were like, oh crap.
I hadn't fully, like... I couldn't tell if that's what you all had meant. That's why I said it that way. Because, like, she had got the blood from Salazar, and she was just like, okay, I did my mission. See you, bye, Salazar, because she's a little kid. She's like, this is what I was supposed to do. And then she's just like, alright, your second question. When you all went to the spring games and competed in them, and then there was a terrorist attack that blew up the governor of that province, is Box, that was watching, that also had a lot of other elected officials in it. That's something she didn't necessarily know what was going to happen. She knew there was a lot of chatter in her intellectual, like, in her spies, that something was going to happen.
We were just there for no reason. Like, we didn't help with anything.
You all got to play in the Gladys.
Yes. But I mean, I think that's why I was so pushy that we were going to go investigate, because I was like, we have to be here for a reason.
You also saved some people's lives.
I mean, yeah.
After the initial thing. So, but your question was, if you had kept pushing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only time that I've had to, like, give you all a really strong nudge. Because she had said, and I had said, don't interfere at anything, because Shay will have to disown you all and act like you all are not there for her. If you had been like, Shay of Desmodon sent us here, that you would have been number one suspects at that point. And also, she would have disavowed and been like, no, I don't know these people at all. Would have had to just been like, see you bye, y'all are dead or in jail or whatever. I think first off, I would have had you been captured, because I also tried to make it very clear that y'all were outgunned.
Yeah, we don't listen well to those type of things.
You just had the highest person in this province murdered in front of a bunch of people. Of course there's going to be, like, high-level investigators and magic users start showing up to investigate.
Yeah, I'm just telling you why I pushed so hard.
Because
I thought that must be what we're there for, because we couldn't
Can we
stop
do a
them.
top 10 dumb moments thing?
Sure. What's one of your...
I think it was carrying a log or something while it was on fire.
When y'all were in the dungeon,
Yeah, I think so.
there was something where it was on fire and you picked it up.
And
I was like, oh,
it was your
it's
log
wood,
anywhere.
right?
It was your log anywhere thing.
Yeah,
And you fed it to the thing.
because I thought it was wood. But I also thought it was like fire. Oh, you need fire to feed yourself, but if you have water, you're gonna get put out. So I put fire in it because it has a mouth. So
That's what I was hoping when you all did those dungeons, to throw you some things that would make you think and do some things like that are interesting and fun.
And then one of the moments we were just like that one healing room that took us forever with your dad.
That was a fun one. That was a fun one
Because we
too.
all thought we were gonna die.
Yeah, we just kept resetting it. What if we're just stuck in this endless loop of resetting it and trying to figure out what to do in between times? And really, it just the doors opened and we left.
I'm still that right there. I had set it up to where you all, if you all had got knocked out, if all of you had got knocked out, you weren't going to die, because it's like...
Well, yeah.
The healing room.
No, I meant in that dungeon that there's a person overseeing it to where statistically it would be very hard for you to die.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
What was her name? Audrey something.
Yeah, something like that. And so, like, you all, though, I built this full dungeon. There was ones where you could fight, and there was puzzles, and it was about 50-50.
I love the puzzles.
And you all hit almost all the puzzles and none of the fighting.
Yeah.
Just by chance.
My dad likes that kind of stuff, though, too, so I think that was good for him.
Yeah, so... And there was some tough fights in there that I had, and I had pre-rolled all the fights for it, so that I wouldn't have to be, like, doing math and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Makes sense. I think one of my stupidest moments came from that episode, too, where I didn't do a perception check, and I just immediately fell into the floor in the first room. It was just like a hallway.
It was the hallway leading up to the door. I put that there on purpose to make you all go, oh, this is real.
I did a perception check in every room after that.
It was something that wouldn't necessarily kill you, but would make you go, oh.
Ew, like, that's the lowest I got on health points.
Yeah.
The whole season.
I think you passed out at one point. In
Yeah.
that fire room.
I think so.
Forget
It's been
where.
a little bit of ways, but yeah, I think you went down.
I think I had to be like, Salvazar, are you going to heal me? Because he was just leaving me.
So I also wanted to make sure y'all, like, I had given your dad's character, like, enough potions and stuff that y'all should be fine.
Oh, yeah.
I think he had used one of his potions to help
Yeah.
bring you back up. I think you went down in that same fire room.
Yeah, I think I was upset that I couldn't answer its question.
Yeah, I wanted y'all to know this, like, it's a serious dungeon, even though y'all have somebody overlooking you. And
I really
could
liked
kick your
the
butt.
underwater dungeon too.
Yeah, y'all didn't get to. That was one we did before we were recording too. They had swam under the water to a dungeon.
There was dolls. I hated it.
Yeah.
Never wanted to go to it again.
I have had to shy away from when I wanted to throw that type of stuff in. I'm like, no, I want to be nice. I'm not going to scare my son. I'm not going to scare him. But yeah, there was a room. It was like a closet, like with a broom, and then there was dolls in it. And then it was like, you opened it, went nope, and closed it, and then y'all just kept going on.
Wait, no. I remember some stuff happening.
And
let's not relive it for
and there was a hallway with artwork that watched you all.
Oh, yeah.
But then didn't trigger to fight you all. Mm-hmm. And it was the dude that owned the dungeon that y'all just went in. It was his first dungeon he had bought to test out to see if he was going to franchise them and start making more dungeons that people could go in, quote, for fun.
I wish that was a thing in real life.
Escape rooms?
No, you don't get to actually fight things in escape rooms.
Yeah, but what would we fight?
Like, I want to have a sword and fight things.
Jeez. Yeah, so that's like...
Which is why I play this game, I guess.
Exactly.
I mean, you could play video games, but
she played some Skyrim a little bit. She liked that. And,
I want to do stuff in real life.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I mean, just like beat up someone?
No, not like that.
Like sparring.
Maybe I should actually just take up like fencing or something.
Yeah. There's some other ones too.
Okay, anyway.
But yeah. Any of those things, like I try to have. Of course, near the end of season 1, it started to become more linear. Like this is what has to happen during this episode. But like with any of the rest of the things, besides like the last 3 episodes of a season, they're going to have branching paths where your decisions get to pick what happens.
Yeah.
Or get to steer the story. And if you'll decide to not do something, I might have had where you had a helper that would help keep you alive. Or you would have a map that would show you the safer way to go.
Were there any people, any NPCs that you thought we would pick up but we didn't?
Let me see here. I have a list of, let me scroll down to them. There's 3.
Really?
Yes.
Man.
Completely rolled. I have them a page on the little PowerPoint slides that Google slideshow. No.
We might see them again?
Maybe not.
Wait,
is one of those myself or like my clone?
Oh yeah, those also exist. You have an individual that's a shapeshifter that can shapeshift into you. There's also but your doppelganger that you created before we started recording might be dead. I haven't decided on the half-life of
But those 3 people are neither of
they're completely 3 individuals.
I am going to be thinking about this now.
I can give you a little bit into them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
One is the owl type people. One is a lizard type person. And then the other one is...
Are these people we met or we didn't meet because we didn't go into certain places?
It's people you didn't meet because of certain actions of yours. I'm trying to be as not give you the information as possible.
Are there any NPCs that we are or were with that we wouldn't have been with if we had been with those people?
Okay, you're saying pretty much what you just said was... Are there individuals that you encountered that you all shifted the tides of time to join your group that wouldn't have normally joined your group?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see who was in your group. Musha. You could have chosen whatever to help her or hide her or whatever, and she wouldn't necessarily join your crew, I didn't think forever that you would not have that happen. Pac, Salazar needed somebody to teach him magic. I put somebody that was a teacher. So Pac, I was pretty sure, was going to join your group.
Yeah.
Omi was one I was not necessarily sure if you were going to have join your group, because before the podcast started, you all had interacted with her. She had somebody that had got, like, that she had lost, and it was mainly how your all's conversation went, whether or not she was going to join you all.
Okay.
Who else joined your crew?
I mean, Shay, but we already talked about her, and she's not necessarily in our crew. I guess that's it.
And the third person was a raven or crow person.
But no, okay, that's not what my question was. My question was if we had have picked up any of the other 3 NPCs.
No, they don't butt other ones out.
I meant, like, if we chose to go in this building instead of this building. Like, I was wondering if we picked up, I don't know, Omi instead of someone else.
All right, here. I will give you a couple of the paths. If you had not met Shay, you would have probably come across somebody named Tufan Tool, who is a lizard person and has a whole storyline that is unresolved right now because y'all never interacted with them.
Okay.
If you had never interacted with Pac or found Pac, you would have come across the owl person named Libu that would have interacted with you all. And has
talked you into telling us their names.
I had to go find the Google slide that I have them on, and I have their pictures of who they are. If for whatever reason you had not interacted with Mushak or any of those things happened with Mushak, you would have come across a rogue named May Grun that is a raven or crow-like person.
How? Oh.
They all have vastly different stories than any of the individuals. That would have
vastly shifted everything if we hadn't met Mushak. Like, that was the whole end of the season.
Oh, yeah. Would have been holistically different.
Can we still meet any of those people, or is it likely that we will?
Possibly. They still exist in the world. They still are doing things. I have whole slides of individuals that you never encountered. Those are just the 3, like, more built-out ones. You all never went to the Vento province. I have a whole story arc in that province. The capital city of Vento is surrounded by a sandstorm for the last 200 years. And you all did not come across that.
Okay. What I'm hearing is if I start having withdrawals from my friends, Mushak, Omi, and Pac, then there's 3 replacements for them out in the world.
Jeez.
I can go find those people.
Wow.
There's a whole unresolved storyline in Vento. Like, I have the leaders of the magic schools in each of the provinces. I have the elected leaders of each of the provinces. Mm-hmm. And if you had bought a buttermouse at one point, like, it would have changed everything.
What? For real?
No, I'm just going on, like, if a butterfly flaps its wings, if a buttermouse flaps...
Oh my gosh.
If a butter...
I was like, are you serious? That would have changed the whole season.
Yeah, if a buttermouse flaps its wings, it changes everything. Over the ocean or whatever the thing is with the butterfly.
You also really wanted me to get some kind of a...
There's a cockatrice.
Chicken thing. Yeah, that was it.
There's a chicken and a dragon and a snake and a rooster all together, and it's...
Weird.
It's been in a bunch of different, like, fantasy things. Some of them make them really big and ridiculous looking, and it's hilarious.
I thought it was off of GM or something.
Off of D&D.
No, darn.
Good
Good
morning.
mythical morning. Yeah.
They, I think theirs is like a
Yeah.
cockatrice type thing. It's a mythical creature in a lot of things. So yeah, y'all got any other questions for me?
Find out next time on
Oh, the headmistress of one of the magic schools is one of those bat-like people too.
Sweet.
Yeah.
No, that was all my questions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. All right, let's take care of some housekeeping. Our adventures encounter magical items, and I want to invite everyone to visit patreon.com/Looney Studios. The link is in the description. And on the front page, there's a link to a Google form where anyone can submit an idea for a magical item. Anyone can do this. You don't have to be a patron. And you can do it anonymously or put your name or username to it to receive credit if we use it. Please add to this list. We love seeing the magical items that people make. And also, while you're there, please check out the Looney Studios Patreon. If you become a patron, you gain access to the podcast early, among other perks. And speaking of Patreon, I want to thank all our patrons. Thank you for supporting Looney Studios and Aerde Tales. And Looney Studios can be found at looneystudios.com and at the social media platforms listed in the description. Please give a review on your favorite podcasting site, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and submit magical items on our Patreon. The Looney family hopes that you have a wonderful day. That was a Looney Studios podcast.